Well, we're here. This is Tierras Oscuras. That's the name of our radio show, Espectro FM, Corrientes City, Argentina. And we are with, I let him to introduce himself to the audience.
Hey guys, buena mañana here in Quebec City, Canada. Cold Quebec City, Canada. It's winter now. I'm Antoine Guertin from the band Aeternam. And I'm super happy to be here because of Ruben. Thank you, Ruben. It's an honor to be able to talk to you today.
Yeah, I thank you. Thank you for your time. It's not so easy always to sit down to talk with some guy or with some other place.
Yeah, we try to make it work.
Okay, well, Aeternam.
Yes.
It's a great band. And when I knew about the band, I was surprised because Canada, because you don't sound like American even. But that sound, that style has an explanation.
Yeah, that's true. It may sound a little weird that a band from cold, wintry Quebec, Canada plays like desert music, if you know. But the truth is, our singer, whose name is Ashraf Loudi, he was born in Morocco. And he moved here in Quebec to study, and we met here in Quebec, and then we started the band. And like a couple of years after, we started to include those Middle Eastern touches, you know, and that's partly due to his musical background as he grew up in a Muslim country with all those musical influences and lyrical themes, you know. And the truth is, we also kind of dig it, you know. By the time we started to compose that kind of music, it kind of grew on us as well. So I can say that today I'm pretty much well versed in Arabic music myself. But yeah, that's the explanation. It kind of makes the whole thing a little bit more legit, you know, that the fact that we have Ashraf, that is a proper Middle Eastern guy, so it works. Well, Middle Eastern, Morocco is not Middle Eastern, but you know my meaning.
Yeah. I can remember the name of these countries. Arab countries from North Africa, Maghreb.
Maghreb, yeah, Maghreb is it's like the region, you know, with encompassing all those countries, yeah.
Of course.
But, yeah, Ashraf is a proper Maghreb guy. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, because that explained a lot, because they're African, but they have a Muslim and maybe Arab culture.
Yeah, it dates all back to the Muslim conquests in the 7th century. So the Muslims the Arabs, the proper Arabs that we say that come from the Arabic Peninsula, and they invaded North Africa. The people from North Africa, Morocco specifically, they are Berbers. That's their indigenous tribe, let's call it like that. And Ash is a Berber as well. It's half Arabic and half Berber, I think.
Yeah.
But it's history, you know. That's how Morocco came to be a Muslim country and all that stuff, you know.
Of course, you started with the band in 2007, and he's from the beginning of the band. Before you met Ash, before you met him, did you know something about this Middle Eastern music?
Well, not really, apart from the fact that some bands we used to listen have those scales, like some Testament songs have this Phrygian scale, you know, on the guitar. But let's say that some Behemoth songs also, the Demigod album, they had a lot of those, like they weren't Arabic influences, but they had those scales, you know, this musical tone that had to it. So that was pretty much the extent of what we knew. Me and Alex, our former guitar player, we had bands together before we met Ash. And we didn't really thought about doing Arabic music at all, actually. But we used, I remember a very, very old song we wrote that had this Phrygian scale, you know, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, so it's really Ash's work to bring that whole aspect to the music that is actually a really huge part of our music now. So, yeah.
So I think these kind of influences give the band, we could say, a bigger landscape. I think each Aeternam song, you don't know where is it going to. It's so unexpected, we could say. I think maybe these influences give you the chance to make something that people is not expecting.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Because if you look at an album like Moon God, our second album, across every songs on the record, you can hear like a proper death metal song, a proper thrash song, a proper power metal song, and those acoustic songs, and they all put together, they just don't make sense. But it's like the fact that we have Ash sing both growl vocals and clean vocals and that Arabic tone across the song kind of glues the record together, if I could say it like that. It's like our cheat card, you know. We can do pretty much what we want. And what I like about that myself is I feel like listening to an Aeternam album doesn't cause like ear fatigue. You just don't hear the same thing like bounce to your head like for 45 minutes. There's a lot of movement in between songs and just between the style of the songs themselves. So that's something that we are aware and that we try to capitalize on when we make a record, is try to make so that the record doesn't feel like a wall of sound from A to B, and then at the end you're like, oh, I like that, but now I'm tired, you know.
Of course, because the people doesn't get tired to listen.
Yeah.
Maybe you can say in one moment, this is like Behemoth, but you're not Behemoth. Other thing, I think it's very important. It's the songs are we could say relatively short. They're not long composition and always changing. There are songs that they end up, you say, hey, it could be longer.
Yeah, that's right. So that's I think coming from our, let's call it pop approach, that we try to write songs like as a proper song with a verse and a chorus, you know, and a solo and a bridge and back to the chorus and then the finale, you know, that kind of song structure that is really a pop approach, like the Beatles would do, and back in the 60s up to like what Justin Bieber does today. So, you know, it has nothing to do with Justin Bieber, of course, but I mean, it's the song structure itself. And we try to do longer songs. There are like 6, 7, 8-minute songs on our records, but they don't come as naturally as the shorter songs.
Yeah.
But that's something we are maybe trying to break a little bit, is that I think we've kind of done it. Now that we have 4 records, it's starting to be harder to write another song in that kind of shape, you know what I mean? So we're trying something else now, maybe like go into like longer songs and like less classic structure song, and we'll see where that goes. But that's where we are now.
Yeah, but it's interesting this thing about how long are the songs, because I don't know if I remember exactly, but I guess the first song is over 3 minutes, and the last one almost 7.
Yes.
All the spectrum in the middle.
Yes, that's right. And it's just like I'm sure like everyone in Argentina is a big fan of Opeth, like everyone in the world, in the old albums, you know, and like take a song like Damnation or Masters as Apprentices, where they like play the same riff for like 3 minutes, you know, and that we try to avoid that ourselves, just to make like a tight, full, energetic pack of like, poof, that's the song. And that's just, I feel like if we would like, Opeth does it really well, and I don't think we could like replicate that mood of having like the same riff like playing over and over, and make it still interesting to listen. I don't think like Damnation is a song that is too long, or you know what I mean. It works. I don't think it would work for us. That's just how I perceive it, you know.
Yeah, of course. I see what I mean. What you mean? I don't know. Maybe not everyone could compose. I don't know. Maybe like some Pink Floyd long songs.
Yeah, exactly. It works for them. That's their sound. They have the skills to do it, and maybe we don't. I don't know. That's how it is.
No explanation for that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, how does the composing work in Aeternam?
All the music and lyrics are a combination of Ash and me. So we compose pretty much everything, the two of us. So sometimes Max, our bass player, will come up with a riff, and he will compose his bass part, and he's a really good. We call him the party destroyer, because we're gonna compose a song or a riff, and then Max is gonna listen to it and say, "No, it sucks." So we're just like, you just destroyed the party because we were happy with that riff. So that's Max's best way of contributing to the writing is he's like this guy with an extern view, you know. He's not like deep with the guitar in his hand, and he doesn't have any emotional attached to any riff, you know. So he's just like, he says the truth, and that is pretty much what we love about him.
Great. And talking about the lyrics,
yes,
language. How is
language.
it?
Well, we write most of the songs in English for like, I mean, it's the industry standard, and I feel like people are familiar with the English language. You know what I mean? They are expecting metal to be sung in English, and but as you probably noticed, some parts are in Arabic as well. It's just a flavor thing, you know. We try not do it too much, so that people can understand our lyrics. So it's just like trying to find that balance, you know. And one of the reasons, like, we've been asked sometimes, like, why don't you guys speak in French, like sing in French? And it's just a couple of reasons. Like, French is a very tough language to sing because it doesn't sound really good. I don't really like the serious music in French. Metal in French doesn't really exist that much. There are some French bands out there that do it, but even Gojira, they don't sing in French. They have some French song titles, but the lyrics are in English. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know how to explain that. I don't think French works in a metal context as a tones, pronunciation, the length of the sentences, the length of the words, the way the words are constructed, like lyrically doesn't work. And themically it wouldn't work. It wouldn't make sense as well to sing in French in talking about the Egyptian civilization or the Mesopotamian civilization. Makes no sense to sing in. Well, sometimes we talk, we do like Arabic verses in a Persian song, but you know, we kind of call it like the Hollywood approach, you know. It's just like
great.
That's how we justify it.
And it really works. These short parts in Arab are great. I like it a lot.
Cool.
Well, and the lyrics. What do you talk about?
Oh, lots of stuff. Mostly, but there's this thing that that runs across all our albums. There's a good chunk of it that talks about religion, but mostly I think what would summarize is history. We're history geeks. I'm a history geek. Ash is an history geek. Max is an history geek. So we love history, and we love to talk about like ancient civilizations, and sometimes we incorporate like mythological aspects to it, and like I said, religion. And we have maybe one or two songs that are a little bit more engaged politically, you know, like we wrote this song in the Arab Spring, some of the songs about religions may sometimes be shocking to some people, what we say, but it's all metaphorical. We aren't like in a crusade against Islam or Christianity or anything like that. You know, we just use these themes that are strong and have deep connections with people, you know. So that, I say, would summarize the extent of the lyrics of our band.
And we got some Arab words, music close into extreme music, metal, Canadian band talking in English, to complex compositions. All those mix. How does it fit in Canada? How does people in Canada look at this band?
It's hard to say, really. I don't think they don't think it's weird or they don't think it's cool. I mean, it's just Canada. I mean, the only place in Canada that the English is not the first language is Quebec. In Quebec we speak French. I'm a native French guy, and that's one of the reasons Ash came to Quebec. Is Morocco has a lot of French speaking people because of colonial things that happened in the past. So that's why he chose Quebec, because he knew he could speak French right from the start, because he didn't speak English very well back then, and now we speak English fluently. That he learned it by being here, because we're still really close to the US, and we kind of speak English all the time anyway. So yeah.
And how is it the metal scene in Canada? But it's not now. Now I guess it must be.
I can make the assumption that you aren't speaking about like during the pandemic, you know, and all that stuff. But how's the metal scene in Canada? It's great, or is it? I mean, Canada is a really, really big country with not a lot of people in it. So, I mean, like doing something like a Canadian tour doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? All the cities are so far apart that it's just not like financially viable to do it. I mean, we have this in Quebec, there's this bubble. There's a couple of cities like Quebec, Montreal, and other smaller cities other smaller cities around that we can make a round of shows across our province, but it's still relatively small, you know what I mean? So we don't really, like, how can I say that? We don't really attach a lot of importance to what we do locally, really. I mean, there aren't a lot of opportunities out there. We try to invest on our international. That's why one of the reasons we accepted your offer to be on this online fest is that we couldn't hope to fly to Argentina to play a real show to you guys, especially right now, but maybe even back in 2018 or 2019, it's just not possible for a band our size to fly to Argentina to play some shows, I think. So that's one of the good thing about the pandemic, is it makes it able to do stuff like that. Quebec is really small. There aren't a lot of people. The scene is cool. The shows we do, there are people in them. That's nice, but we are looking more like in the international scene, like US, Europe, and now Latin America as well.
Great. And how is it for a Canadian band to try to get into the USA market?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of great bands from Quebec, specifically. From Canada, well, there's some bands from the West Coast, thinking like Unleash the Archers, I think, are from Vancouver, and Devin Townsend is probably the biggest metal musician in the world from Canada. But from Quebec, we have a lot of great bands. Of course, Voivod is a band from Quebec, and now like one of the latest biggest band is Beyond Creation. You guys probably know about Beyond Creation.
Yep.
They're really good friends. This is a great band, great people. We love them. So yeah, what is it like? were lucky to be, honestly, we were lucky to be invited to the 70,000 tons of metal a couple years ago. That really helped us to get into the US market, you know, because even if there's a lot of people from around the world going to that fest, most of the people are from the US for obvious reason that the port the boat is leaving from is in the US, you know what I mean? So that helped us a lot. And we did the tour, also a US tour with Tyr and Orphanland, which made it a lot easier for us to connect with people that love this style of music. So this helped us a lot. I mean, we were lucky to be able to do those two trips, you know what I mean? So I feel that's how we got like an audience in the US. And I feel like now we got some people that would show up to our shows if we would go to the US, like not in a super huge scale, but you know, we were supposed to do a tour in the US just before the pandemic in April to 2020. So obviously it got canceled. It was a big strike for us to cancel that tour. We got a lot of merch printed and we were super stoked and ready to launch Al-Qassam as a tour, but that's how it is. I mean, we're not the only band who suffered from the pandemic, so don't want to complain or anything, just that point the fact that it happened. So releasing an album, just I mean, get the Al-Qassam was released on March 27th, which was like, I think it was like a week before the super huge lockdown here. So that's the worst timing ever.
Bad luck. You talked about these 7,000 tons of metal. How is it to live it from the inside, being part of that show, talking about the organization and things like that? How important was it for you?
That was, I'm always saying it, like our first experience on 70,000 tons was like the 5 best days of my life. It's like surreal. It's insane. This, you have to go there like once in your life. It's just completely crazy. And that's the craziest thing, is there's no real inside. It's like you're with everyone on the boat. There's no like artist backstage, and it's like the backstage is your cabin really. And if you're just walking and suddenly here's Mal Petrosa from Creator, and it's like, here's a Yari Manpa from Winter Sun, you know. It's like, oh wow, okay, like all these people that we like respect from creating like the music we listen to, they're just random guys right there walking with you guys and eating with everyone, and that's really nice. And there's this kind of respect also, like there's no like crazy thing, you know what I mean? So it's just it's a really nice vibe. Everyone is together. We all live this metal dream for 5 days of extent shows. All you see, like there's 60 shows across 5 days. That's just too much for a single person to watch them all. It's not possible. So you have to make choices and see, I gotta catch the start of this band, and then I gotta run across the boat and catch the end of this set, and you know, so it's
incredible.
It's an insane experience. And we were lucky to do it twice, so I hope we can do it again in the future. Hopefully when the pandemic is done, because like going on a cruise ship right now doesn't seem like the best idea.
Great. Well, Al-Qassam, March 2020, the best time ever, maybe. When this, we hope this is gonna end. Eventually, will end. And what do you think you're gonna do? You're gonna retake Al-Qassam, trying to play it live and things like that, or maybe, I don't know, maybe new material, a new album.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's hard for me to say because I don't know, but my expectation of what's going to happen is once we can start making shows again, like all the band will want to go in tour. And some bands that are living with their music might need it more than a band like us that we can't live just from playing in Aeternam. We all have day jobs, you know. So I feel like it's gonna be a big competition of who gets to go on tour, because there can't be like 60 tours at the same time, you know what I mean? So there's that many venues and that many promoters that can handle like all that stuff, you know. So, and how many of them are gonna even be operating after the pandemic, like all those venues that are closing and all those companies that are bankrupt now. So that's another topic. But so I don't expect us to be able to go on tour really quickly after the pandemic. So as much as it pains me to say, I just feel like Alcazam is done for, really. It's gonna be like too old of an album to be able to like, now we got this album that was released 2 years ago. It's still relevant, guys. So I just like, that's a good thing if we can tour and to promote Alcazam, but I don't plan on it really. It's just, so we're already working on new material, and so we're gonna see what happens. I don't think we're gonna release something during the pandemic. It's hard. I don't think it's just another suicide, really. So, but we're working on it and taking our time and see where that goes. Yeah, that's pretty much what I can say about that right now.
Okay. Well, you're gonna be part of the Argentina Online Metal Fest next January. What can we expect from that show? We could say show. It's a video clip, but how?
Yeah, so it's a short. It's a really short performance. You know what I mean? So we recorded 4 songs, so it spans like length is about 20 minutes, and we decided to do one song per album, pretty much. That's what we should say. So that's gonna cover the span of our whole music catalog for people that don't know us. So yeah, that's you can expect like proper metal.
Okay,
it's gonna be fun. We couldn't play them together, so we recorded ourselves in our in our individual studio, and I'm currently working on the mix and video editing, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna sound and look good. I think it's gonna be nice.
Great. Thank you very much, Antoine, for your time. It's an honor to have you here.
Oh, the honor is mine. Thanks for the spot, and thanks for inviting us and all. I hope people in Argentina will enjoy Aeternam.
Okay. We're waiting to see you. Thank you very much. Oh, I almost forgot it. You should choose 2 songs of your band, of course, to close the interview.
2 songs from. I will take one that is dear to me, because it's a song about, well, little bit of backstory about that song. The furthest south I went myself is to Peru. It is a neighbor to Argentina, Peru. And I went to visit, of course, as any proper tourist that goes in Peru. I went to visit the Machu Picchu. And I'm a big fan of the show that was called The Mysterious Cities of Gold back then when I was a kid, and I always had a huge interest in pre-Columbian civilization. And I went to visit all the Maya pyramids. I got the Mayas tattooed on my arm, you know. So I like
really fan.
Yes, brave. That show changed my life, and I wrote this song about the Inca god Viracocha on the album Alcazam. The song is called Hanan Pacha. So that's in Quechua language. It means like this, pretty much like the heaven or something like that. So this is the song I would choose. And the second one I would choose, like Praetor of Mercury from the album Ruins of Empire, which is a song about the conquest of gold by Julius Caesar. And it's Great. Like the song tells the story of the Battle of Alesia, where the gold chief Vercingetorix kind of dropped his weapons, and then Julius Caesar had officially conquered gold. So this is
I didn't hear you. This is from Ruins of Empires.
Yeah. Yes, it's the 8th. I think it's the 8th song on the album, Praetor of Mercury.
Praetor of Mercury. Yeah.
It's gonna be like this is one of our most heaviest song I think we ever wrote.
Thank you very much, Antoine. With those two songs, we're closing the interview, and thank you again, and we're hoping to see you on the festival.
Thank you so much, and cheers, stay metal, and stay safe as well.
Great. Goodbye, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers.